Good evening, everybody. It's been a while, but we are officially back. The gang is back together. It's been a few weeks, so we're probably going to repeat a few things from previous games just to catch ourselves up. Obviously, a lot of news has happened in regards to the women's team as well, so we'll be going back through that, getting each other's thoughts because we have all missed each other. Before we go into obviously the women's section, I will then hand to Liam. He'll go through the men's and we'll deal with the weekend's misery and look to the Champions League obviously midweek before the big one this coming weekend. But of course, we'll hit it straight off with the panel. Liam, it's an absolute honour to see you again. How are you?
Yeah, good evening, G. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, it's been quite eventful, hasn't it? Yeah, it ain't been the greatest of times, but I'm finally back. I'm officially back, and yeah, without an X count as well. So it's a bit weird to be honest, yeah, because obviously I'm coming in from the dark. I'm literally coming in from the dark, but I don't care. We'll rock and roll. We'll talk about what we love best, and that's Arsenal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's lovely to have you back. And obviously joining us as well. Bez, how are you?
Good, thank you. High keeping and good to have Liam back in our presence once and for all.
Cheers, mate.
Rightly so. And obviously, last but not least, Charlie, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. It's good to be back and good to see some good faces.
Absolutely, that is what we love to hear. So yeah, as I said before, we're going to head into the women's section first. Obviously, at the moment, we are on international weekend, so there's no fixture to look forward to this weekend. But what I wanted to do was rewind a couple of weeks. Myself and Bez actually met up for the Chelsea game. We are that far away, so Bez, just get your thoughts on it. Obviously, we spoke personally together leading into that game and hanging around, having breakfast, chilling out in the morning. But we all kind of had this feeling
We did the
in
whole
between.
lot, but
Yeah, we all had this feeling in between us, didn't we? That there was something not right in the air, and we could see where it was going, didn't we?
I totally echo you 100%. Like you literally felt that meeting you again was wonderful because remember, like we're not met since I think since March or April last year, or May, excuse me. It was nice to meet the group again. I'll say this in the podcast. I don't want to embarrass ourselves, but literally, guys, I had to keep it out for the week. So I was like, call the day off, even though literally, I kept on the ref all week, guys. I was like, I can't tell G I'm coming because I was like, I have to come, I have to go, I have to meet G, I have to meet the group, I have to. I was like, you know what? I'm here, I'm present. And then when I see you guys in the cafe, I won't say which one now, no all privacy respect. I was like, yep, there she is. There's the group. I was like, here I am. I was like, but yeah. That's all the formalities out the way, professional side of things. I felt like going to the game after the Everton ones. I went back to back for the first time for the ladies, I believe, ever, if I recall now, because I don't have the memories of my previous ladies games. I felt like bitter because he, being he now, the pantomime villain. You know what I'm talking about now. I don't even say his name anymore. I'm sorry. I know he left us a bit of in a bad way, shall we say, a bit like we experienced that with the men when we did, sadly, but. Basically, the pantomime villain did not learn his lesson from the Everton game. I feel like, are you for real, my friend? You just no common sense, as I have said in the previous podcasts. No plan B, no plan C. Plan A is not working. Experiment. Play your best players. Provide your superstar, and Alessia Russo. Provide a service. He gave her nothing at all. And to kick this off, I don't want to start fuming just yet, but you know me, I'm still got a fire in my belly from that experience, sadly, because it was a wonderful day. All fairness considered, our group, our collective, it was great to be around you guys. It was literally felt wonderful, but for someone to ruin it and the way he disappeared down the tunnel at full time, don't even bring me up to start fuming now because I don't want to fume, but probably I have to say some things into now about him. But hey, it's only the introduction. Sorry, guys. Carry on.
Don't apologise. But yeah, just going back on that as well, from us chatting in where we were leading up to the game, we all went in a little bit early for a change as well, so we could just sort of chill, find our seats, get whatever was going to happen in our systems. But actually, throughout the game, minus the first 20 minutes, when we were obviously 2-0 down, from that point, I think they said, was it around 45,000 capacity there that day? But actually, everyone was on board behind the team, which for me, I thought it was going to be a little bit more ropey. Obviously, we'd come back from being battered by Bayern Munich away. a few days before. And like you say, the weekend before at the Emirates was a 0-0 draw against Everton, which should never have happened. No disrespect to Everton, but that shouldn't be happening. Not even a shot, really. No opportunities. But you think going into that fixture, obviously it was a huge fixture. We were 2-0 down, as I say, after about 20 minutes. It wasn't looking great. But the fans we couldn't have done any more. I think it was loud. All sections of the stadium were proper up for it, getting behind the girls. Were you surprised at that, Bez?
I'll be honest with you again, I'm sorry, it's only the first 5 minutes in. I'm saying myself not to go over the top, OTT, shall we say, in this instance. But he complained now, the pantomime villain. I'm sorry, I'm going to say his name just yet. The pantomime villain said, we're not G'ing them enough. So you're telling me in the Everton game, barring it was a very small minority of us, because as you know, I went to that one too, with the group, and I went from us sitting in the clock end, literally in front of where Liam, I think, sits for the Chelsea game, and we went together, sadly. But, I moved seat then again next to our group, near the sideline. I saw personally, and I'll say it again, I've got a picture of it, still my phone, and I'll say this if Charlie and Liam doesn't know, his laptop, his screen was a blank screen with nothing there. Fine, Everton game, fine is Everton, with all respect. Yes, it's football. Yes, it's ladies playing, of course, we respect that as well. Me, I say this as a man, modern day man, I should say, in my view. But you're telling me now, you not learn your lesson from your previous weekend? You're playing back to back at home as well. The weather wasn't that bad. But the silly man who simply was not on it. There was nothing there telling me as a football fan as well, to see both sides, and ladies and men's, both a bit here and there, shall we say, at the moment. We'll get to that in a minute. But basically, talking about the ladies in this segment, I felt personally in the second game we did sing, we basically with our hearts out. You had little kids, as we said in the instance of our friend. His daughter was very loud, and you can see when she was singing, people were like, "Oh my God, she's very vocal. She's like full-on fan already, fully fledged, basically. She's ready for the big time, which is amazing." And I felt, as a modern-day person in this age, I was like, "Wow, straight." I was taken back. I was like, "She's louder than me," which is great. But then you have a manager, and I'll say his name now since I can finally spit it out. In Jonas, he did this in the Everton game after 60, 70 minutes. I'm thinking, what was that for, mate? Sometimes you have to do yourself. And then for the ladies as well, all I see is this. And I said the previous podcast, he just does this. Just sitting there like a school teacher, also a PE teacher, to say, "Go on, girls, I'll train you enough. Go for it." I'm like flabbergasted now, because as a football fan here, sitting, yes, it wasn't expensive, but as we say in English terms, we paid good money. We had our outing. We had our wonderful group with us. Weather didn't help, sadly. It wasn't a bit like the best of days for whatever the weather, as the song says. But sadly for me, I felt bitter. Even though I didn't post anything sadly about the ladies, I really wish I did, because I got some nice pictures and snapshots, quite a lot actually, from both games. But sadly, I just woke up on Monday feeling very bitter. And I was like, what am I supposed to do? I can't celebrate. I love seeing the girls just as much as I see the men's when I did see them on Tuesday, which we'll talk about in a second. But I just still feel a bit. From his experience as a manager, I feel bitter the way he treated the footballers that we had, the ones who got let go, as yourself, G, everyone who knows in our Arsenal family. But right now, I just feel like a bit hurt from his side, how he basically saw the spotlight coming towards him. He thought, what, I'll just duck and run before the watershed. I'll just run and be a headless chicken and just pretend nothing happened. And then he resigns 2 days before the Champions League game. I was like, what a chicken move, basically, without me swearing a minute. What a chicken move to do, mate. I'm sorry. That was disgusting. That's what I'm going to say right now.
Fair enough. Liam, I'll come to you on it as well, because obviously, as I say, the feeling, I think, of all the fan base of the fixtures, as we mentioned, and obviously we lost that game to Chelsea, pretty much we were going to do anyway. But were you surprised that Jonas then left on his own accord 2 days later? Do you think it should have happened quicker, or because, like Bear said, it happened a day before the Champions League fixture as well, and it just seemed like a really odd time to have done it, especially now when you think it's the international break now. Could we have held out a bit longer to get the girls more settled, or do you think it was exactly the right time?
No, I think it's the right time. You had to go. See you later. Thanks for the work you've done. Move on. That's basically it, isn't it? His time was up. We all knew it was up after. We knew it was up before Chelsea. So just the first 40 minutes of that Chelsea performance just put the final now in his coffin. And okay, we could have got back to 2-2 in the second half, but we didn't.
Yeah.
And it's not about the Chelsea game. Do you know what I mean? Like, Chelsea are a world-class team who can go and beat anyone on the day. Do you know what I mean? We know that. We know it's not an easy game against Chelsea, but the writing's been on the wall for a long time, and he starts every season exactly the same. And we struggle at the start of every season. So there's obviously something there with it. I don't think the fifth situation helped him whatsoever. And you can't tell me that hasn't had an effect on Beth Mead as an individual, but also she will have friends within that camp as well. So I don't think that really supported his calls, but I'm surprised. I wasn't surprised that we didn't dismiss him straight after the game because it's not Arsenal style. I did think by Monday we'd get an announcement, and we didn't. So it was a bit of a strange one. But I think it's best that he goes and he then just hangs on for another week or 2 weeks. And it could have got worse, couldn't it? We could have gone to West Ham, lost to West Ham, and then, do you know what I mean? Then it's totally over. I think it's over already anyway. Do you know what I mean? You could in this league, you can only you've seen it already. You can only afford to lose 1 to 2 games, and already we've lost to Chelsea at home and drawn to Man City, which could have easily been a defeat. So I think it was the right time for him to go. I think he's done the right thing by going, and hopefully now they can kind of reunite, get the squad together, push on, and have a good season. Because it hasn't been pretty, is it? And I go back to the Bayern Munich game as well. Do you know what I mean? How we kind of capitulated in that last 20 minutes against them as well. Kind of shows you where that squad was at that time. So, no, I'm glad it's been done early, to be fair. I know everyone's saying why Tuesday, but I'm not really fussed. I'm just glad that he made that decision and he's gone.
Yeah, absolutely. And Charlie, same to you, really. Your thoughts on the whole Jonas situation and anything different to add to it?
I mean, I would have sacked him before the season started, to be fair. Just like, he should have gone before the season started. We're 4 games in and our league season's already over. Like, that's where we're at, basically, already. We're 4 games in and the league season's already over. All we've got is the 2 cups. Like, we ain't winning the Champions League. At this rate, we won't even get out of the group. We'll get 6 points against that team that I've never heard of. And then we might get a result against Juventus.
Juventus away.
Yeah, exactly. But as far as the league's concerned, I mean, even the City game, that's the only game that I've actually watched, to be fair. The Chelsea game, I was out at the time, but I saw the updates. But the City game, we had so many chances.
Yeah.
And it was the same last season. We had so many chances against the bigger teams. And all right, we battered Chelsea 4-1 last season, but in the return fixture, they just battered us. And then against City, we handed Chelsea the league by beating City when it done nothing for us, basically. So, I think there's problems, man, because we shouldn't be having trouble scoring goals with the players that we've got in the team. I think it's inexcusable that we can't score goals with the players we've got in our team. And defensively, we look a mess as well.
Yeah.
So, I think the only hope we've got now to save the season is to win the cups. But the thing is, though, we keep winning the Conti Cup, and everyone gets excited about it, which is fine. But we're supposed to be Arsenal, man. We should be winning this league.
The fact that the last WSL win was 2019, and obviously that was before the Lionesses won the Euros. It was before COVID, so that was a totally different vibe in the women's game to what it is now. And it's very disappointing that we're on this wave and we're not achieving anything near what we are capable of doing. But like you say about some of the players as well, I think you could really see their certain players' confidence was completely shot. Just going back to that game at Chelsea, from our seat, we were quite high up on the lower stand, but we were right behind the home dugout. So all game we could see all the movements. Jonas falling out with our now interim manager, Renee. All game he was shouting at her, and they were just looking at each other in this weird way. It wasn't helpful, she's going to take over, obviously. she needs to be doing this. They kind of just had this. She had a body language and the way he was talking to her, it looked quite tense. But we'd seen him have words with Beth Mead in the first half, and she was fuming. Katie McCabe as well. They both had words. So it wasn't even as if it's all behind the scenes. It was quite open for a lot of fans to have seen. And you could imagine it might be those couple of players that maybe disconnect with him, but the effect it will have on the wider team in the likes of Alessia Russo not being able to score any goals. Obviously, Stina can be very influential for us, but she hasn't been right. And like you say, Leah Williamson hasn't been right. Lotta hasn't been right. Do you think as well now, Charlie, we're starting to come through that wave and look like we are getting a bit more confident now? We've picked up a couple of good results the last 2 games.
I mean, it's hard to tell because that team we played in the Champions League, I mean, I've never heard of them, to be honest with you. So
they are the current Swedish champions. No, Norwegian champions, sorry. They are actually a very good team.
Okay, right. Fair enough.
Just to throw it there.
Yeah,
I didn't know either,
enough.
but from that game, they were actually... The scoreline didn't reflect. It wasn't as easy as the scoreline looked in the end.
But that's what makes matters worse, though, isn't it? Because like if Barcelona played them, they're pumping them nearly double figures. And obviously, I know in the group stages, goal difference doesn't really matter if you're the best team, because if you're the best team, then you'll win your group anyway. But yeah, the Jonas thing, I don't think he left off his own accord. I reckon he was sacked in it. He walked down the tunnel and he was pulled in the office by Edu or whatever, and he was sacked, mate. There's no way. He knew he was gone, bro. That's why he walked down the tunnel. There's no way that geezer walked off on his own accord. He 100% got sacked.
Can I quickly ask something before I forget, please?
Yeah.
In the example of the men's football, for example, Rafinha had his 100th game for Barcelona, played, led the way, scored a hat-trick. Amazing. Don't get me wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong here, all of yous. Beth means they played to 100th game for Arsenal. Kim Little being Kim Little she is. Why didn't Jonas give her the captain for the day in her 200th game? Please tell me. What's that? What's this stupidity from this man that clearly telling me now he thinks he's special? He told you he thinks he thinks that he was literally the spotlight was all for him. I'm sorry, mate, it wasn't. You won those 2 League Cups. I was there for one of them. Great. The one last year just saved your skin. But for right now, as you know, I'm glad he's gone. As what Charlie said, for me, I'm glad to see the back of him. I'm so happy he's gone. And Riley looks more vocal. She points fingers a bit here and there, but she is better off. She has better, if I'm saying this correctly, from women's perspective, sorry, she has better man management skills as a manager. You can see already the girls love playing for her. We saw this at G as well. I got the pictures, funny enough, in my phone. And when Beth approached him in half time, I think when she got subbed or something, just because it's the live photos you call it,
yes.
You can see the I'm gonna say this, the electrons or the proton, God knows what it is now it's called. You can just see the tension just building up between the two, like this is like something's happening, and they're like, oh no, don't do it in front of everyone. You can just see something was being like, stop, don't like act so big. I think someone told them like, easy guys, please, not in public. But you can already see, and then he does that huddle thing as well. Like, oh my god. But anyway, like I said, I'll correspond with you saying because I've got structure now I'm trying to build, but literally I just feel like going just off topic for a minute. I just feel like his man skills were just terrible, absolutely terrible beyond belief. My qualifying this has got any left, I hope. I just feel there's got nothing left anymore for me to use any bad words that I can use for this so-called man and manager, because both I don't respect him anymore. Even if I had meet him down the street tomorrow, I'll just be like, who are you again? I'm sorry, G, but I love the ladies as much, and it's like you let me down, mate. You let me down. You clearly let my female fans down by acting like you're the big shot. Yes, you're the manager. Oh, that's a shame. I just felt like I'm disheartened. Shall I say this?
Yeah, that's.
I promise you before I won't swear. I promise I won't swear, but I'll let you know if I start building up
5
anything.
minutes. You got 5 minutes.
Oh, I thought it was 10 o'clock. I thought it was 10 o'clock, not 9.
No, it's 9 o'clock, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, you made a good point actually. Just going into more positive.
Yeah, of course. I'm positive either way for both men's and girls. But sometimes the negative has to be nice to get out of the system. And
Of course. Hey, we've all been building on it for a few weeks. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But you did mention a good point where on that day it was Beth Mead's 200th Arsenal appearance.
It's fine.
But also the other day, obviously the weekend, it was Kim Little's 350th appearance, which you know obviously how long she's been at the club for.
Too long.
Obviously in the men's fixture that comes around quite quickly because they have so many games, whereas the women you could imagine the how many games that actually is compared to what they play obviously per season.
Longevity, I think it's called in English. Longevity,
yeah,
if I'm saying that right.
Yeah, but like Charlie, having someone like Kim Little with that right now, obviously Beth Mead on 200. I think Leah Volti was also on 100 the other day. Those sort of experienced players that have been within Arsenal through all the changes, as we mentioned, with the women's game and the different managers, they're what we're going to need to bring us through this period, aren't they? And sort of have the experienced heads on them to get the younger players through this transition as well, aren't they?
Yeah, 100%. We need the people that have been there the longest to step up. I mean, I hear what Bez is saying about like the captaincy and like on certain people's appearances. I get all that, to be fair. Like it would be, but I actually think Kim Little's like 1 or 2 years past it now. Anyway, to be fair, I've been saying that for a good 2 years, and that's not a disgrace to her whatsoever because she's been class. But I personally think that she's past it and she could easily be like, not easily, but she could be fizzled out of the team a little bit now. And with the amount of midfielders that he's got, or he had, and now that Rene's got, I think the armband probably should go to Volti, if I'm being honest. But he'll probably go to William. He'll probably go to Williamson when once Kim does whatever she does, it'll probably go to Williamson, which is fine. But if it was me, I'd have given it to Volti while she's still here.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
But yeah, I think the thing is though, with the ladies, it's hard to tell because I think Caldente's come in, and I'd already classed her as an experienced player because she's won everything.
God, yeah.
She's won everything. Like so, like, and even I know she's left now, but Miedemar, when she came in, like obviously she was a lot younger, but I would have classed her as an experienced player to what we had at the time.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the league is hard though because, like I said, I feel the league's already finished. I think we're not making up the amount of points that we'd have to win against both City and Chelsea and hope they throw away enough points just to catch up. So it's not going to happen. If we're being realistic, it's not going to happen. So we're just going to have to try and build in the cup competitions from now, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And again, you make a good point mentioning Caldente there. Liam, I'll come over to you as well. Obviously, this pretty amazing signing coming off the back of a World Cup win as well. And I think, I might be wrong, but I think she went to the Olympics as well. But coming in now, obviously, in the Champions League fixture, she got player of the match and scored again to kick off this weekend against West Ham. That just shows as well, like Charlie said, her experience. Obviously, she's won everything. She played for Barcelona, Spain. But coming into this club, and it's not affected her. She's sort of not dragging us, but leading on the pitch. Everything at the moment is she is showing exactly what she's worth.
Yeah, well, she's a winner, isn't she? She's a proven winner. Who's got the t-shirt and done it. So I think it's good that she's come into the club and has obviously hit the ground running. And if we're being totally honest here, at the moment, we need her more than ever. And it's going to be players like her that we're probably going to look up to at the moment over the next few months to kind of get us back to a level that we need to be at. And as the guys have said, this start of this season is nowhere near the level that we kind of expected. So we need our key players performing. So whoever comes in has got a big job to get all them kind of players performing. And obviously she's a key piece to that. But when you look at the players that we've got in the squad, when you start looking at the Williamsons, the Beth Meads, the Russos as well, like the players are there. The players are there. It's about finding a formula, finding a system that we can play to, and get the best out of them, because that's what we haven't done over the last 2 years. That's what we haven't done on a consistent basis. Do you know what I mean? So I just think tactically he got found out. I think tactically he was found out. I think he was tactically found out probably at the back end of the season before. He was definitely found out last season, and this year it's just totally gone to pieces for him. And when you're tactically found out and you haven't got the players in your corner as well at the same time, there's only one direction, and that's out. So he's out. Whoever comes in has got to get this team playing, because there are players there. There's a very good squad of players there, but it's about getting them playing and getting the best out of each and every one of them players.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to give a heads up to everyone in the comments. Apologies, I haven't mentioned it. I can't actually see the comments without scrolling completely off my phone. But Catherine, I know you're there. Ryan's been putting some bits in there as well. And obviously Ryan over, I think he's in Detroit or on his way over. So
He's coming. He's coming this Sunday. He told me he's coming.
Yeah, he's on his way. I saw him put something in. I can't remember what airport he's in, but yeah, we appreciate you checking in. Sorry, I can't read your comments. I am seeing them, but yeah, we do appreciate it. So thank you. But I think Ryan put something in about Leah Williamson's interview, obviously pre-game for the Lionesses today. And I saw a snip, so I think I know exactly what he's mentioning. But she was sort of asked about being in a different environment and how it's quite nice and relaxing to be away from Arsenal at the moment. And it just goes to show, doesn't it, Bez, that even though they're still putting the performances in and have to look professional, it probably has taken a bit of a mental toll of being in that pressure for the last couple of months, hasn't it?
I'll say that too, but it's like the last year, you can see, like, tell me this thing now. I grew up in this country, and everyone says keep your hands and feet to yourself. I went to school here, but the way that video portrayed me as a modern day man again, I keep saying modern day man a lot, excuse me, but I have to say it because I'm defending the female side of things as well. I have family, well, my females, I adore them to bits. But for the life of me, that video with Miedemar, the way he conducted himself, this villain again, you don't do it to a female. Yes, she's your player, but you don't do like, put your hand down. Huh? I'm the manager, excuse me, yeah, but like, how dare you? How dare you? She was a club before you, okay? She's a legend at this club. She kept us there on top of the pile of the whole branch. So you're telling me now you want to bring her down because you're down and you're thinking of the big shot?
Yeah.
It's horrendous. I'm sorry. What Arteta did to Aubameyang, no defense, because I still like Aubameyang, sadly, and Lacazette. We know Lacazette was a bully, sadly, from what I heard. But the example is with Aubameyang, he betrayed us the way he did. Not Miedemar. Miedemar fought for the badge. Miedemar, well, this is our flying Dutch woman, so we say, in all respect. I loved her for it. I'm always saying, listen, Roos thought great things, here we go. We're rebuilding, we're recharging. We learned our lesson from last season, yes, some bits and bobs. Because the City game showed promise, As I don't know, because you already know, G. I met Leslie Russo in person. She was wonderful to meet in person. I waited 6 on the queue. It was worth waiting meeting her. She was wonderful. We had a conversation until the guard told me, Liam and Charlie, because I don't know if you guys know, I met her in Covent Garden. The man was like telling me, hurry up, like, stop talking to her. But she enjoyed talking to me because she can see I'm a real fan. She enjoyed my presence. I'm telling the truth. I love you who you are as a woman, as a footballer, as a sports person. And she deserves all that accolade she gets, which I heard she's getting the England Lady of the Year. But the toxicity is there. Okay, if it's true, because I'm sorry if not, I kept ladies thing a bit kind of on the side for a minute. I'm hoping they're doing well. Leah Williamson is one too. You can see already she didn't feel valued, not validated, sadly not, but you can see she didn't feel valued because around him, yes, as you say, she said something. She's every right to, because she's a goon at heart. Let her speak her mind sometimes. Let her be herself. But the problem is I have with a certain Jonas is how you can't conduct yourself as a person in modern day age of football. Like to come across more friendly, more caring, have a bit of a decency, have a heart even. We respect you as the manager of this great club. Like we took some time to deal with Arteta being a manager, from a player to a manager for us. But you tell me right now, you think you're the big boy and you want the spotlight on you. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. Because when I was there in the Everton game, yes, if the capacity crowd wasn't the greatest, as you know, it was under 20,000, which is really, I'm sorry, it was disgusting from our side of view as fans. I get it because it was Sunday, very rainy, it was pissing down. Not great, don't get me wrong. It was actually quite nippy as well. Sun was actually quite chilled. It was quite warm. You know, the what's it called? Tulling doors felt pleasant. It literally felt like a men's game a bit. It was like, I was like, oh yeah, good. The feel good factor. I keep telling you, the feel good ink is back. Like everyone's happy, everyone's like gleeful. You can just felt like pre-game, like for us, like, our side felt wonderful to be around our family of Arsenal. But this pantomime villain, he just wants to burn everything. I'm sorry, I'm not from Jafar. He was like literally like Jafar that, like, you know, Genie was telling him, this is what we're gonna do. As in Rennes, I'm putting Rennes for that was like his genie for me in the Chelsea game. And I remember vividly, now he reminded me as well in this live feed, that clearly his mindset was like, yep, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Well, like it or not, this is my club. This is my team I manage. That's it. But for me, as Charlie said, I should go Eddie on the phone and say, look, have a look at this. This is out of control. This is beyond the limitation as a football manager in this day and age. This shouldn't happen, even in public or behind closed doors. But also as well, what they like is, even off time, you can already see, like, I think he must have done like this with his hand or something, like to the players, just get in the dressing room, just get in. Hold on a second, you got a goal before second half. Clearly, I told you enough. Plan A is kind of somehow working. Plan B, switch on. No, what he does is stubborn. Just stubborn as hell. And I'm like, oh Christ alive, man. Here I literally probably saw me, I was frustrated. For a first time watching ladies football, I was like, oh my god. You know what I mean? I went like 10 Arsenal games before we got Arteta. I was like, I've been through a lot as an Arsenal man fan. But I was like, fine, I get that. But now this for the ladies, I was like, we don't deserve this because all of us are in cracking time. And just literally, why? And then we had the food hall, which Sadie G, you and that went to the food hall down near Nags Head, which was nice for the guys. But sadly, just everyone felt sour. Everyone felt bitter. Everyone felt like someone stabbed them behind their back. Like, I don't know how to say this, but I don't know. Still like hurts. But at least Rennie, thank God, she's patching things up. And you're going to see again without. So I promise I don't want to go too much off topic. You see in the players now, they enjoy playing for us. You saw that Champions League game. Yes, it's technically our first win ish. Then we had the other one, which I'm sadly, that's why I kind of backed off the ladies football for a minute. Well, I see the ladies now, they're enjoying it. They have that freedom back, like we have the men's, they have that freedom back that they can play football the way they've been taught to play football. Just get out there, do your best you can do, play for the shirt, play obviously for the badge, but play for the fan base who clearly are there to back you up every step of the way. But then someone had to ruin it for them, and then he did. And I'm sorry if I can make a whole show about it, even a book, even or A4 page about this man. I'll make it right now and I'll put it just outside the armory on Saturday. If I can go, even though I go half day on Saturday, I'll say, Armory, this is for Jonas, to whom it may concern. As you, Walter Bottas used to say, to whom it may concern, you know, F you more like me.
Yeah, love that.
I'm sorry, but I feel hurt. I still feel hurt as an Arsenal ladies fan as well. So I'm still hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, and obviously just looking
Charlie's
back,
grinning.
just to
Charlie's
tie it.
grinning. I think it was good. What's happening, Charlie, with the football? Tell us.
Don't.
Tell
He's
us, Charlie,
smacking.
please. I want
I
to
think
know. I'm gonna keep track.
Liam was going off.
Tell us, please. I've ranted
yeah,
enough.
we'll just bring
enough
it. We'll just bring it back slightly to obviously the Sunday's game. A player that we've obviously got in the summer. Heard a bit about her, but we haven't actually managed to see a lot of her. Especially in the Chelsea game, you're chasing the game as Liam said. We were going for the second goal, and we were that day. We had opportunities. The crowd, like we said, the crowd is behind the girls. We thought it would happen, and you don't bring on your creative midfielder that you've just brought in the summer. And luckily, Renee knows more about football than obviously Jonas does. Brings her on, gives her some minutes finally on Sunday, and obviously we're talking about Rosa Kafaji here. She assisted Russo in a couple of games before when she did finally get a chance, and again she scored at the weekend. They got player of the match. So Liam, I'll just come to you. It's just one of those, isn't it? Of how you can. Did he even bother to get this girl come in, or was it someone else's decision? Did he not want her? And how you know you've got this creative player. that you know from the sparks that we had seen in the small minutes she did get, how is he not using this girl? And she comes on straight away, doesn't let it affect her. As I said, player of the match. The crowd is singing for her. She's looks a bit taken aback by it. Probably has been through a bit of a rough couple of weeks, but it just goes to show, isn't it, that something was seriously off, and now these girls are coming back firing, showing what they can do. It's hopeful for picking up at least something at the end, towards the end of the season, isn't it?
Yeah, we don't know, do we? We don't know what happens behind the scenes. That's the thing, isn't it? We don't know. Like, you like to think that the manager has a lot of input in terms of who's coming in and gives it the kind of authorization, but maybe the club knew that if he didn't start off well this year, then that the consideration could be that he leaves. Maybe they feel that like they didn't want to put their eggs in his basket to be signing players as such if he wasn't going to be there. And to be fair, he's not there after 4 or 5 games. So yeah, it could be that he had no input in that signing, and he weren't the kind of player that he wanted. But from a creative point of view, that's the kind of player that we've been crying out for quite a while. And I've always felt that at times we do lack a bit of creativity in certain games. So hopefully she'll get a lot more minutes now. She'll gain a lot more confidence and she'll get to play around the team a lot more, which would obviously support in terms of what she can bring to the team. Like you said, obviously in the minutes that she has played, she has made a good account of herself. So yeah, but I'm on the fence that maybe that she was brought in without his kind of say-so to be honest.
Yeah,
or
it
you
would make sense.
If you bring a player in, you play him, don't you? You don't bring a player in to then sit him on the bench and not isolate him out the team. Do you know what I mean? You bring a player in to play him. That's what happens when you bring a player in. So when you're not playing someone, you have to ask the question: does the manager fancy him? And first and foremost, were they part of that process to bring them into the club?
Exactly. But I think going forward, we're excited to see her finally get some more minutes and hopefully turn things around. We'll go into it more next week, of course, because as I said, it is the international break. But our next fixture is actually Man United away. Charlie, this is one that they've just got to go out there and get it done, haven't they? Get out there, leave, straight back down.
Pretty much, but will they? I'm not too sure. It's just you don't know what you're going to get, do you? I mean, like you look at. I mean, like I said, I've only seen the City game, but judging by a lot of what people have said and what I've read, like commentary wise, it's all been the same. Missing chances, crap in possession at times, giving away crap goals. So, yeah. And Man United are unbeaten, aren't they, as well? So we'll have to see, but. I mean, that would do the team good though if they could go there and win that and beat a decent team as well. Like, because obviously Man United are usually in and around the top 4 now, aren't they? So it would do the team good.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, as I say, we'll get into it. I
was going to say, don't it make you think though? Like you said, Charlie, we're already 3-4 games, mate. So we're pretty much saying that the titles are, if anything, the most distant dream possible at the moment. Because we can't afford to slip up no more. With the players that we have got coming to the back end of this season, do we see a transition after this season for players? Because I think there's at least 3 or 4 that will probably definitely leave.
I think so. And one of them that worries me is Beth Mead as well.
Yeah. I think she's gone.
If she can't if it doesn't kick in soon and the love for playing for Arsenal comes back to her, obviously that's the difficulty with women's football. Once the partner goes, they do tend to sort of follow. I don't think that she'll necessarily go to City. I think maybe they might look, because I also don't think Viv is having much fun up at City either. It's a possibility maybe they might go abroad somewhere, but there's definitely that to rock the boat. Obviously, we'll talk about Kim Little in the nicest way. She's not going to be at this level forever, and I think we are slowly starting to see that it's not, maybe she shouldn't be playing every single game.
Sorry, G. I just want to say,
Yeah.
because I noticed this lady in my radar. I'm a big fan of her work. Is how I don't know much about Fully as a footballer, but I know more what she gives as a person. And Colin Humphrey, I know she played for us when she did, and I saw some clips of her with Leah Williamson. She had great chemistry with Leah. Somehow wasn't realised the potential by the club. Sadly, she went to Liverpool, then went to Charlton, which is one of my local teams where I live.
Mhm.
Was like, why do we get her back? You know, don't get me wrong, I think she was a striker or a great midfielder. Very intelligent girl, very witty, very nice person, very humble. Why not get her back? And then you tell me you're going by the players, as you guys said. And then if he doesn't want them, why not persistent players who used to play for us, who probably would have loved to come back to the beloved Arsenal, and now they're playing back in Emirates. What I see is no transparency in the club. With when the pantomime villain was in his throne, shall we say? Because I feel like at times best he turned like Emery near the end, as I said to you in person as well. The way Jonas conducted himself was very disgusting as a man, rather than just a manager or just a coach. Sorry, I just felt as a man himself, he never had the dignity to own up to his own wrongs. Like, remember I think post match must have been the Chelsea one. The way he spoke, even the BBC one, and I watched it later on. I was like, you're not going to even tell BBC to big up your players, at least to say we tried to nick a second goal, to take a point, yet it was all about him, all just about him. And again, I'll say this. That was absolutely dreadful from his side. Absolutely no class. Because you know yourself, when you're signing for a club like Arsenal, class is permanent. I do as a fan. I meet fans around. I've got Colin was a West Ham fan. She told me today, I was like, but at least I'm not Millwall and Tottenham, mate. You know, I'm sorry if I've shouted, okay? I said, I'm sorry, I'm not, at least I'm not Millwall and Tottenham. But you being West Ham, thanks for Declan, bro. You know, but don't be this to me, I'm an Arsenal fan. I don't make mockery out of you. You know, I have some class in me. I'm a gooner, okay? As you know me, I speak my heart on my sleeve. I love this club. I'll happily say it. I fucking love this club, as Stuart McFarlane said. And seeing that man, we saw him in the ladies' game. From what I saw as well, he's trying to take photographs. You can also see Jonas telling him, what are you doing? I'm thinking, leave the man be. He's a fan. He works for the club. He believes in the Arsenal DNA. He knows more than you combined. He's there before you. I just felt like flabbergasted. Again, I'm sorry if I'm taking everyone's time again, and I'm still hurt because I'll come back down a bit, down to earth, shall I say, from the heavens above. But God Almighty, you tell me right now, he had no skills, man. Like, literally, you girls are trying. Okay, the Everton game was not the best. The Chelsea one, we had enough chances to get a draw, as Liam and Charlie said, and UG. But you tell me one thing as well. He played Mariona as well as a winger. I'm sorry, but he played as a she could play as a winger when clearly she's a midfielder. I'm sorry, you can see already she ran out of steam. Alessia Russo, she ran out of steam. Never saw this do to them. Well, good game, love. At least you tried. But all you see is, I'm thinking, what is this now? You felt like he was a shepherd up down in Snowdonia somewhere. I was like, bloody hell, mate. I know he's Scandinavian, but I'm sorry, but he had no class. As a man, as a coach, I'm sorry, I'm gonna talk about this if you let me for a bit again, but I just feel like he showed no desire to care for the girls. You can see already on that Sunday we went together after the game, a dick move. Just run down the tunnel with no care in the world. When you pointed to me in the actual game, look what he done. I was like, are you for real? He's done it again?
Yeah.
What kind of man is this? What is this behavior now? You know? For us even. At least thank us then. Thank us for cheering you on, mate. You know, we technically are paying your bills from the club, because our revenue comes from us as well. From our side of it comes from us. But also as well, we care. Yes, we booed you. Yes, we gave you maybe some of them gave some harsh chants, so we say. But, at his best, I just felt like as well, he's just like that. I don't know, everything. All the boxes, I thought he will have something in his box, but I'm sorry, that box was very empty. There was nothing there.
Yeah, but we'll wrap it up on the women's side now, because we have gone on a little bit.
Excuse my
longer.
ranting, okay? Sorry,
No,
my ranting.
don't worry, it's not that. But as I say, obviously it is international break, so there isn't necessarily a game to look into, but we shall do that next week into more depth and looking towards the future. I think now that side is behind us, and good things are hopefully on their way back. But I shall hand over to Liam, who is going to lead for the men's section.
Yep. So obviously we're going to do a quick debrief of the two games. Well, I say a quick debrief, but obviously we will go through them all. So we played Bournemouth on Saturday, 5:30 kickoff away. It was obviously the first game back from the international break, and a good opportunity it seemed at the time to put ourselves top of the table for at least one day. But sadly, that didn't materialise. I'm going to be totally honest. When obviously the 10 come out, I wasn't overly confident with what I kind of see. The midfield three surprised me, if I'm being totally honest. And I think that kind of materialised in our first 20-minute performance. Martinelli and Saka obviously a massive miss, as they always would be. And I thought we started quite sluggish, and that resulted then into a red card. So I'm going to go with you first, Charlie. Let's go into that first 20 minutes for the red card. How did you feel we played leading up into that goal? Because I thought we was quite sluggish that first 20, 25 minutes.
To be bluntly honest, that first 20 minutes was crap. Absolute crap. Just pass it round the back, pass it sideways, pass it into the middle, pass it backwards, pass it sideways. He's set up with effectively three DMs. Why are you putting a midfield of three DMs away at Bournemouth? Like, I don't understand that. I don't understand why Trossard was shunted out to the left. If Martinelli's not fit, play Jesus there. But yeah, that first 20 minutes was dreadful. And I think even if we had stayed 11v11, I don't think we would have won, to be honest, because we never looked like scoring, even when we had 11 players on the pitch.
And obviously Tuesday, yeah, again, just showed a lack of creativity, I think, at the moment, which we're lacking. Like, we know obviously Ødegaard's out, but Saka's kind of stood up to the mantle, hasn't he? The first 5-6 games of the season. But I just thought without them two, we're a totally different team. We are a totally different team in terms of the way we kind of keep the ball up top, the way we kind of are in terms of our creativity. And I just think Trossard's played better in the middle. And I personally didn't really understand why he went out on the left to start with. And I didn't really get the midfield three. Like for me, Moreno, Partey and Rice, you play two of the three. In my head, you play two of the three. And Trossard hadn't been playing, if we're being totally honest, Trossard hadn't been playing bad in that role. And I just think we messed around with it a little bit too much. And I think there was other options to keep Trossard in that attacking midfield role. I think obviously he could have played Jesus out on the right, couldn't he? And put Sterling on the left. I know the issue obviously of Martinelli, but there was other options not to touch Trossard. And I just felt that taking Trossard out kind of made us. I don't want to say weaker, but it just kind of made us even weaker in terms of the creativity options that we have in the middle of the park. Like we've basically got 3 ball winners in the centre of midfield. So I don't know about you, G, but do you think that was a bit of a trick miss in terms of selection? Do you think maybe Gabriel Jesus should have started out on the right?
Yeah, I think so. And I think because we've been so consistent, luckily, like last season with injuries, we actually did all right, to be fair, didn't we? And it was pretty much the same, roughly starting 11 or maybe 1 or 2 changes. But it seems like as soon as we make drastic changes, we just don't turn up. From like seasons ago, I think that's always in my mind. As soon as I see odd names, I'm like, oh god, it's not going to be good. And obviously that ground is a bit ropey for us in years gone by, also, isn't it? But yeah, like you say, like Charlie said, you're playing 3 defensive midfielders at bloody Bournemouth. Like we should be going out. City will go out and batter them, but why do we have to go and basically low block them? And especially the first 20 minutes I'd only seen the first half, to be fair. I couldn't be arsed at that point because it was boring. And I know that sounds really shit, but I was with my nephews and that's more important to me. But there was nothing. Bournemouth were all over us. They were pushing us off the ball in every opportunity. their passing they were actually looking really good, getting through us too easily, and again our own fault for turning it on its head. But it just, I don't know about you guys, but there's just no spark with us anymore. Like that season, or even actually it was the season before, wasn't it? I think last season probably took it out of us, going right to the end. But I just don't feel like there's just nothing, like there's no fire in them anymore. And it shouldn't be the fact that we've only lost Ødegaard that we then turn into this kind of team. Like we should be able to, someone else should be able to step up. Yet every time, like we said, how many times Trossard deserves more of a chance, and then he puts in a shit performance. Martinelli puts in a shit performance, and you think none of these people are taking the game by the scruff of the neck, pulling us through and trying to do something. They all seem off to me at the moment. I don't know what you guys think, but I don't remember a game watching it and thinking, oh shit, yeah, we look good here. It's always just something you're like, we're doing too much, or we've made all these stupid mistakes. Obviously, 3 red cards in 8 games is, of course, the refs, but also we have to take responsibility ourselves for what we're doing to allow that to happen. And yeah, I just think there's something not clicking again with the men's this season. It's really every game seems really painful to watch, especially the other night. That was all. The Tuesday night was
I was there.
most boring things.
I'll get to
I was
that.
literally on my phone the whole time. There's just I don't know if you guys agree, but there just doesn't seem to be anything that's clicking with all of us at the moment. And God knows how long Ødegaard is even going to be out for. Seems he's still way up in the stands watching the games. It's not a good sight, is it?
I think it's a good word you said there, that we seem off. I think we do definitely seem off, and I do agree. Like I think, like, and I'm going to say, and it's quite interesting what I'm going to say again. I think on Saturday that I still think he could have put Trossard in the middle of the park with 10 men. I know that sounds a baffling thing to say, right? But we needed to change something in that second half when it was 0-0, and we didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And we've crept into this situation, yeah, right? And it started at Brighton when we got the red card, that we just totally go into a defensive mode. There is nothing else. There is nothing else. It's just literally, we've got to go in defensive mode and that's it. No offence, if Man City go down to 10 men, they still play football. They still find a way to win. I don't think that we've got it in us if we go down to 10 men to win a game of football. I don't think we've got the courage to go out there and do it. I don't think we've got the belief to go out there and do it. And I think the Brighton game and Man City game has put us in this kind of situation. And you knew exactly what you was going to get once Saliba got sent off. You knew exactly what you was going to get. And I was quite disappointed, to be honest, because, yeah, I think Bournemouth are quite a fine team. I don't think they're obviously well beaters, but I think they're a fine team. I think they'll probably get around mid-table this year, probably lower mid-table, and they will upset a few people. But we didn't even give it a go. Do you know what I mean? We didn't even try and change anything. We didn't even think that, do you know what I mean? Let's try and get someone on the ball in the middle of the park, try and keep the ball. And I just feel I think there was a lot of mistakes made. And I think it started from the team selection on Saturday. And I feel at the moment, this is where we're in a situation that every kind of decision's wrong, even down to the penalty kick take on Tuesday night. Like, for me, Havertz should have been taking that penalty all day long. All day long, Havertz should have been taking that penalty. And I just feel, like you said, something's not right at the moment. And we've got a massive game Sunday. And if we lose that game Sunday, I don't like to say this, but we're in I think we're pretty much in a situation where the titles like the women's team is a distant dream, because to go 7 points behind these two teams who have got a history of whacking up 90-odd points, it's not good enough. And it's hard because that's what this level of football is now, that you can't afford to lose games. But it's a must-win game Sunday, and we're just not very confident at the moment, are we? And I think that's stemmed from the start of the season. I think potentially different players coming back at different times because the Euros don't help. But let's be honest, everyone has to play to that. Do you know what I mean? Other people have more tech players than others, but obviously, Man City would have had players, like we've had players, Liverpool have had players, so we can't use it as an excuse. And for me, we've got to start playing football. But I just at the moment, I'm just seeing injury after injury, red card after red card,
Shit
a
performance
lack of
after shit
creativity
performance.
in the team. Yeah, and let's be honest, this will be quite damning for Sunday. The three players, our best three players, are not playing Sunday. Saliba, Ødegaard, Saka. We need a bit. That's expecting a big performance Sunday now. What don't you agree, Bess? Like we're talking, they're our three best players in my eyes.
Where do I begin then? I'll tell you right now, Bournemouth as well. I watched only the highlights, sadly. I just felt like we look like a team, sorry if I say like this, but a team from the Championship who do know what to do ourselves. You tell me right now, the red card, as we had that Bolton game way back in 2008, we were down to 10 men at half time. What Wenger does is ultra attack. And we went 3-2, right? Yes, it was on goal, so what? Rest in peace, Lewis Samuel, because he scored the winner sadly for us. And Fabregas, at the time of Fabregas, I saw against Bournemouth, sadly, and I get to choose them because I was there Tuesday. I get to choose them and then I'll talk about Saturday first. I felt on Saturday, right? Yes, Trossard made the mistake. Yes, Saliba can be forgiven because he's doing his job. No, the big man has to do his job, which means protect your goal line from the ball getting in, right? Because you can't be the goalkeeper can be Superman. And Real is wonderful. You can already see Real is doing his best to keep us in the games, as we saw on Tuesday night. Real is there to keep us, I would say, grounded in that defensive unit and in midfield and attacking. Of course, he has some bits to improve. Of course, that's his caliber, I guess, so we say next. But what also is on Saturdays, as you say, fine, you want to put Trossard on the left again. Fine, I guess, Havertz in play Saturday, right? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, sorry, say again.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Havertz played Saturday. G, correct me. So Havertz did play Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah, why not switch around? I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna forgive me if I sound very critical. I'll be a bit critical. I'm allowed to be, for God's sake. We are fans. We have a heart. We love this club no matter what. You know, we lose or draw. But tell me right now, he sadly his plan didn't work. So you tell me right now, please, not to be a tinkerman, not to be a crazy wild horse, shall we say. Switch around the tactics, switch around a bit. Just surprise the team, as I said earlier in the podcast. So surprise teams. You done it last year. Surprise the team. Last year we had the best defensive away record in the bloody top 5 leagues. And yet people say you bottled it. Yes, we bottled it, but that's called a bit of a cohesion of growth, a bit of lift that we needed from that bad area that we had, And then, don't get me wrong. Yes, we lost against Bournemouth. Yes, we're a bit flat. Yes, we're not looking ourselves. We kind of like, how can I say this to you? After the game, I didn't feel like the players didn't like kind of dust themselves well. Like, didn't kind of come across like they look like, okay, we lost, but at least, as we say, pick up yourself again and, next game, And please, forgive me about this, but I'm going to have a little bit of a snippet. Not obviously, full on Arteta. I'm not going to say Arteta out, not yet. Come on, I'm not that stupid. I have some common sense left in me, I hope. But on Tuesday night, I saw we were 1-0 up. Great. Again, we're playing good. Martinelli, great. He looks great. I said to you earlier, and G knows me very well in person. He needed to go. He got the assist. Martinelli is a different beast right now. Jesus, for me, I'm sorry. Sooner or later, he's going to be out. Tuesday showed me he's not an attacker. First of all, I'm going to use some players. I'm so for myself present. Jesus does not look good as an attacker. He's just lost that cutting edge. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry to the Arsenal fans who hear me around again for the third time tonight. And then Partey's had a wonderful game. Again, great. Declan complimented him at times. Real looked sharp. But then don't get me wrong. Please don't get me wrong. Shakhtar Donetsk, in all respect to Shakhtar Donetsk, why are you risking Merino for Shakhtar? Why not bring Skelly on a bit earlier? Why not bring Nalneri on, who can be the Ødegaard in this beautiful star-studded lineup? Because you need these young boys have looking pretty well. They're literally like house on fire right now. They're like almost you give them the light and they're like They'll just take it their will. You know, they know what it means to play for the club. They know what it means to play for us, who are there present to support them on. The noise level, I'm sorry, Liam, and I'm sorry, G, as well. I'm having a little mini round at our fan base. The noise levels were terrible. Absolutely dreadful to be in on Tuesday. You probably on TV. I was above that Ashbashtan Army. I'm sorry to mention them. I have to say this. Sorry, guys, Ashbashtan Army. Please, you bang your drums. But where was the singing? I'm sorry, where was the singing on Tuesday night? Yes, it's Champions League game, but it was dreary. The away fans were loud. Our fans were too busy making fun of Ukrainian fans. Yes, I'm a Balkan man by origin. I'm not easily offended anymore. But what are you attacking the away fans for? Fucking sing. You're there to watch a football game. Sing, chant. What is it? We're Tottenham, we're Tottenham. I think shut your fucking mouth on this over to someone because I don't care about Tottenham. Let them do their thing. Tottenham can do their thing. Yes, they can. I am done going anti Tottenham. Tottenham can do their thing, yes. We need to focus on ourselves, see the bigger picture. I went to the game thinking, yeah, we might make a 3-1, maybe 4-0. Not crazy result, but a bit like, happy to be my second ever Champions League game because my first one I lost to Olympiacos 7 years ago to the day, more like. Defensively looked decent, but then as we said, why he's being so ultra defensive? He literally just realized, you know what? Close up shop. I'll just park the bus. I'm thinking, Arteta, please, man. I adore you as a footballer. I swear, I adore you as a footballer. I love him as a man. I love him as a coach. I love him all round as a man, what I should say. But why are you being so ultra defensive? What's the need for it? It's Shakhtar Donetsk. You look good. On paper, we're better than Shakhtar. So what we did to them is first half, you saw how good we played. Second half, Shakhtar was like, you know what? We'll do a mirror image of you first half. We'll do it back to you second half. But thankfully, then score a goal. Because it could have happened and it would be embarrassing. And the media, the British media, likes to make fun of us. And one thing I'll say as well, I'm sorry to have so many rounds tonight because I feel like lately again, the men's I can live with some bad moments, but just Tuesday showed me enough. The true colours of our fan base is to take a look at yourself. Don't worry about the clubs. Please, for 1 minute of your life, step away from the dark side of things. Yes, the dark arts, I get it. We get told of, which I'll talk about that shortly again if I'm allowed to speak about it before we get a chance or more. Like, we have players on paper who will fight for the badge. Yeah, there's even youngsters who are there who are waiting to play with, to integrate them into this lineup, in this team or like. And you tell me you just want to let them rot on the bench for what? Like, Shakhtar were there for the taking, to kill the game before that. And then one criticism out of Arteta, one criticism, as Liam said, why did that friggin' Trossard, which I can forgive again to some degree, because Trossard is a wonderful man and a player, very agile. Why him on the pen? Why not have it for the record? He was there. You can see he was eager. He was like, yep, it's me. I'm ready. This is my spotlight. I've got actually the video. You can see Trossard. He literally was shaking. He literally just does a quick glance at the goalkeeper. Yep, I'm going to put this. And the goalkeeper, like, no, you don't. No, you don't. I literally just sat there in clock end, because I was literally upper tier clock end, thinking, why you, Trossard? Why do you have to take it? Why not someone else? Why not someone, maybe Declan Rice even? Or to take liberty, give it to someone who's more experienced. Sorry, Trossard. Yes, you have experience as a footballer, but playing for the club, you only be in it for 2.5 years, 3 years next February, I think. But please, why did Arteta? Please, I love you, but please, why not Havertz? Who was that way for the record? It was like the perfect celebration even for him. Just the perfect game for him to. Or even Marino. Why not give it to someone different? More like he gave it to Trossard. He looked a bit. You can see he looked unconfident. He literally lacked that spark on Tuesday night in Trossard. Sadly, everyone else was doing okay for me, but sorry, Trossard again looked a bit flat in my criticism. Sorry if I sound a bit too much, but I feel a bit. I get a bit. I'm kind of disjointed with this current group of players. Some of them they just don't show that desire anymore, which is gone.
Yeah.
I'm
Sorry,
not sure it's gone. If I'm being totally honest. Yeah, I'm not totally sure it's gone by any stretch of imagination. Because the last 2 seasons, we've done splendidly well to do what we do. But I think there's definitely issues this season in terms of.
You can see it, right? You can see it. Something's not right.
I think there's issues with injuries. Like the skipper's out, which is a key piece for me. the skipper's out. Your best right winger's out. Do you know what I mean? Martinelli's obviously come back from Europe, from Brazil. Weren't fully fit. That was a massive loss for us, and the team a bit disjointed. I think the team's disjointed at the moment, but I totally agree. Jesus is proving that since he's come back from his injury in 2022-23 season, he's never come back to the form that he was showing. And I think potentially we need to decide at the end of the season what we do with Jesus. I don't think we're far. I'm more frustrated about the injuries, if I'm being totally honest. Like, and I'm going to go to Charlie on this. Like, we've got 6-7 fullbacks of a top quality, and none of them are fit. And we already know that Mikel Arteta, the fullbacks are a massive piece in terms of the way Arsenal play, the way Arsenal operate. And yeah, I just think I think we've been caught a little bit in terms of the injuries, and I think we've been caught a little bit in terms of coming back from the summer. And I just think it's all kind of added up. And I think this is why you're seeing the performance you're seeing. I don't think there's an issue behind the scenes with the players and all that. I don't think that, but I do feel that certain players are probably on that spectrum where he'll probably say goodbye to them at the end of the season. If I'm being totally honest, and I think Gabriel Jesus is potentially one of them now. I don't know what you think, Charlie.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, but I also think that certain players can't handle the pressure or are struggling to handle the pressure, because the pressure on Arsenal now, especially after the last 2 seasons, is higher and higher. You see the way City breeze through games, even like games against Bournemouth, like G said earlier. They just breeze through those sort of games, even when they've got injuries or they're missing players. And yeah, I know they've got a big squad that's full of quality, but we've been building that over the past 3 seasons. And yeah, obviously missing Ødegaard is massive, but there are players there that can easily step in. I mean, Trossard's been doing it well, so him being shunted out to the left just because Martinelli wasn't fit didn't make sense to me against Bournemouth. No. And then the Shakhtar game, I actually thought in the first half we created more than enough chances to be 3-4-0 up. Like, we were missing sitters in the first half. It was only the second half for me that was really concerning, because we didn't kill the game off, and then we sort of looked tired. Like, Mikel even said it himself afterwards. Like, he said we were tired in the second half. But I think certain players are struggling with the pressure at the moment, but they know Sundays are basically a win or bust.
Yeah.
A draw is the worst case scenario. We can't be leaving without at least a draw. I mean, we have to win, but worst case scenario, we have to leave with a draw, or we're pretty much finished.
Are you a kind of person who think Waneri should be given an opportunity? Like, he's obviously done really well when he's played minutes. You look at the Bolton game, you look at the game he done and come on against Leicester. I thought it was a bit of an opportunity on Tuesday to potentially play him, just for the fact that you've got a Partey and Rice next to him. It's not like you're not putting him in with an experienced double act. Do you know what I mean? Could he? I'm not saying the opportunity will come Saturday or Sunday, because I don't think it will. But is it time that we give him an opportunity while Ødegaard is still out?
Yeah, 100%. I think, but then at the same time, there's obviously a reason why he's not playing him. Like, you know what Mikel's like with the really finer details. He always, in his interviews, he never gives anything away. And when people question him, he never says anything like against players, or he'll say how he's feeling, sort of thing. So, as much as we all want Waneri to play, there's obviously a reason why he went with because as soon as I saw the lineup, I was like, why the hell are we playing 2 DMs and an 8 in a midfield 3 away at Bournemouth, expecting to create anything? So he obviously thought that, again, Martinelli obviously wasn't fit, and instead of playing Jesus out on the left and leaving Trossard in the centre, he felt he had to take our creativity and put him out on the left, where he was awful, not just because of the pass, but in general, and put in a box-to-box midfielder and play him as a number 10 where he just looked completely lost. So, and as Wanyeri, obviously, he looked good against Bolton, but obviously Bolton are League One opposition. So I'd expect our youth players to look good against League One opposition. So, but yeah, I want to see him play. Of course, I think everyone wants to see him play. But I mean, this Sunday, I'm looking at the people that we're going to have missing. So Ødegaard's not playing, and Calafiori's definitely not playing. So if Timber is fit, which I'm hopeful he is, we might be okay defensively, even with Saliba missing. But if Saka's not fit, then we've got a problem. I think Saka will be fit. I think Saka will be fit.
Yeah, I totally agree. We need Saka and Timber in that team Sunday. Without the pair of them, I think it's a massive struggle. Do you know what I mean? It's a massive struggle, because you look at what Saka offers you as a winger, and then you realise when you start putting a Sterling, and there's no disrespect to Sterling, because do you know what? Right, he got dragged off after 35 minutes because there was no one on. There was 10 players on the pitch, but when you see he put Sterling and Jesus out there, and they don't offer you what he offers you, and it's the brilliance. Like, you look at the Southampton assist for Martinelli. Like, I can't tell you how good of assist that is. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're talking about this guy single-handedly kind of pulling us out of situations, and he's done that for seasons now. And like, these are the kind of players you need in the big games, ain't they? These are the kind of big players that you need. You need your Saka on the right this weekend. You need your Martinelli on the left. You need your Havertz up top. You're going to have to take Trossard in that role. You need your Partey and Rice in the centre mid. And then you start looking at your defence. You're thinking, well, do you know what? If we have got a Timber this weekend, then we're in a better situation. Do you know what I mean? I think potentially Zinchenko might start Sunday. I think Zinchenko might start Sunday, because then I start looking at the options. Even if Timber is fit, well, either Timber or Ben White are going centre back. So one of them's going centre back. One of them's going to be playing right back. He ain't going to play Kivior after that Bournemouth performance. You couldn't do it. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not really up for Zinchenko playing against Mo Salah, but there is no other option at the moment, unless he decides to go down the road of Skelly. But I don't think he'll put him into that situation, because I don't think that would be the right situation. So I think Zinchenko has to start Sunday. So it's a big game for him as well, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. But I've said to G before stream that what I would do, and it is a bit wild, but he has got the capabilities to do it. So I wouldn't do that. I would play Timber, if he's fit, as a left back to deal with Mo Salah. Then I would play Gabriel, and I would move Declan Rice to centre back.
That's the other option. Yeah.
And then I would put either Jorginho. Personally, I'd play Jorginho, because Jorginho played in this game last season and was our best player. So yeah. I would play Jorginho and Partey as like a double pivot sort of thing, like we did against Spurs, and just mop everything up in the midfield, and then leave Trossard as on his own in there to try and create the things for us, and then White at right back. I think that's our best route if we've got players missing, because you don't want Zinchenko.
You see him going down that road of Declan Rice to centre back.
No, Zinchenko. He'll play Zinchenko, but me personally, I wouldn't want to. I would, if Timber's fit, put him against Salah, because he's good 1v1 defensively.
Yeah. Going over to you, G. Looking at this game, because obviously it is massive. It's not just a 6 pointer for me already. It's literally honestly, I know it sounds very dramatic, but when you look at the two teams, it's pretty much win or bust already, and like. It's disappointing, isn't it, that we're having this kind of conversation, because we went away to Spurs and done the job. We went away to Aston Villa and done the job. We went away to Manchester City and get a 2-2 draw, and should have done the job. Like, they scored with the last boot of the game. And you look at it and you sit there and you think, this is the level we're playing at, isn't it? You can't afford one slip up. And we've just lost to Bournemouth. We've lost one game, and we're already sitting there going, if we lose the second game, it's absolute an uphill struggle. Can we win Sunday?
Yeah. Let's be positive. I'm gonna dread it all day, all weekend, all day. Sunday is gonna be that build up, isn't it, of how big it is, and it is a big game. The only positive you can think of is like that's the games that we have been excelling in, as you say, but we are just doing these stupid mistakes against the, no disrespect, but shit teams, and it's always been that way, hasn't it? We can turn up and get through the bigger games now. I'm also very grateful it's not at Anfield.
Yeah, no,
because
I'm very grateful
that
it's not
would
Anfield.
be a hell of a lot worse.
Yeah.
And we've managed this fixture quite well in the last couple of seasons as well, to be honest with you. But like you say, it's just for us, it always seems to come at the wrong time. You know, when City and them play, or City and whoever play, they always are fully fit and they're both going for each other at full strength. But it's always us that is missing someone. And now we're obviously missing multiple numbers. We're going to have to change things around. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's one loss, but it's also, like I said earlier, the way that we've been playing throughout the season. It's not been exciting. It's not been captivating, is it? We're just like, oh, here we go. We've got through that game. Luckily, we survived that game, and then we've lost, and it has sort of kicked everyone back to what we all were reactionary a few years ago. But it's because we care so much, isn't it? It's just so disappointing that we're like, why can every other team go and do the job? Yet we just seem to struggle all the time. And you know that City will go there and batter them like 4-5-1 or something. But it's always us that just come away from it and look disjointed. And that's what it's going to be. It's going to be all in favour for Liverpool. They're on a high of, I think they've won all 10 or 11 games they've played. So they're on this amazing streak. They've obviously got a new manager. Things are changing and looking really good for them. But they've also played barely anyone. So yeah, it's a tricky one to call, to be honest, and it would be typical for us to turn up and do a job, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Now that we're in this mindset, it would be typical that we just turn up and not batter them, but come away from it. But yeah, it's massive, and again, it's the confidence it's gonna give if we do win that big game and we're back in fighting, because it's so quick to slip behind, isn't it? We already know that are we 2 behind them? Or 3 behind? No, 4 behind them, 3 behind City, I think. So already 8 or 9 games in, we're already chasing tails. But maybe that might be a good thing. But yeah, like you say, if we can get something from it, as Charlie says, worst case is a draw, and it's not a loss, and we gain some sort of advantage. But yeah, a win is absolutely everything, I think, to keep it alive for as long as possible.
As everyone knows, I've had bad battery issues and I've got 20% left. So I reckon we've got probably about another 10 minutes of the show remaining. So we're going to try and squeeze everything in. But just going over to you, Bez, quickly, on Sunday. I know, obviously, what Charlie said, and I think it's a pretty good discussion in terms of potentially would we put Declan Rice back in there? What's your kind of thoughts around that? And can we go there and win on Sunday?
Well, first and foremost, I echo what G said. Sorry, because I went away for a bit. I had to take a little breather because my head was a bit burning from my, fire in the house, as we say, fire drill. We can possibly win. No Liverpool and us. There's always goals, and there's always entertainment. There's always fire. Literally, I would say if you want Halloween crackers, pre-Christmas ones, but also Liverpool, there's always some. I still remember the 5-5 League Cup game very well. The Martinelli danced his way through, and sadly we lost some pens, but that's League Cup. As the experience goes, what can I say? I'm trying to take it all in now, talking of Sunday, thinking ahead, not the past now, sadly. Thinking ahead in the future. I'll say bring them on, because sadly, in cruel world sense, knowing us, the resilience we have still, yes, we're not fluid, we're not the same as we are from last season. We have the capacity, to drive on each other. And if Declan Rice has to play where he needs to play, yes, why not? Because now we have Marino, we have Partey being solid. You can see Tuesday night he showed that he's very mature, very much. He did all the hard work, and what I noticed from the Celtic contingent's point of view, I mean, I didn't hear anyone say anything nice about him. Not a single word about anyone, which is sad. I mean, Martinelli stole the spotlight. Rice Paul did his bit. Partey did his bit very well. I personally think, Sunday we can put Rice maybe centre back, as you're saying, without keeping it too long due to battery shortage. Buy a power bank. Well, I'll buy you one for Christmas if I have to. I'll post it myself, if I have to. That's what we'll say as well. So why not put Declan there, but also as well minimize risk. Obviously, damage limitation. Obviously, with the red card doesn't help. On Saturday gone by, and then suspense. So the injuries don't help either. But I think we have in our belly enough fire to give him a game, because we need to give him a game. And the goalkeeper is so against who Liverpool played the other day. I forgot who they played, but he didn't look that sharp. He made some silly errors. You think, right? He's a little bit like schoolboy errors, He looks a bit like off at times best. Like Leipzig, that's it. Leipzig game in the game, based to him. And then Leipzig would have won that. And only 1-0. But we won only 1-0. Yes, Arsenal didn't look like good enough. I'm sorry, Liam, to say this again. Media can attack us even for winning with Leicester attacking us. Only 1 against Shakhtar. What about Liverpool? Only 1-0 against Leipzig, which apparently Leipzig is tougher on paper, really, and away from home. I'm sorry. And now, again, the media's trying to hit on us to say, Arsenal are vulnerable. Arsenal did it themselves. Arsenal this, Arsenal that. I'm thinking, blah, blah, blah. I've heard this all before, in the past, growing up as a football fan. Sorry, as an Arsenal fan, more like stop with your bullshit in no sense. I've had enough. Everyone going against my club. I told people, when I speak about this club, I'll fight, life and limb for this club. If I have to be talking about it anywhere else, I'll talk as much as I want to, because it's my club, and I do love this club. But right now, on Sunday, we need to be up for it, without keeping this too long, going to the last segment. I wanted to show, desire, passion, drive, but also don't be scared of Liverpool. Yes, their form is amazing, but form sometimes is temporary. Class is more permanent, as I said earlier. For me, I do see us be more, hopefully, hungry for it. Hopefully, the fans will get behind them. Hopefully, have a packed house. In terms of, we need to make some noise now, because if they don't make noise, the fans, some of the players will start thinking like, well, they're not behind us. We are behind them. Yes, we're allowed to criticize. We're not attacking you in any shape or form. But please now accept some of the criticism, because we pay to watch you. We pay to see you. Or we'll be streaming, from the TV channel. What do people do? Watching the game live, of course, whoever has the chance to watch them live. I personally think Arteta now needs to throw in his plan A, just show his skills again. About the dark arts, do it again, but do it well. But their players, do not take any silly, needless yellow cards. Discipline yourself. Number one, to wrap up for myself, please on Sunday, just contain yourself. If anything is going wrong, as a player, as a manager as well, and the side, just keep discipline. If the decision going your way, stay back, stay firm, just be you. But please, for a minute, discipline has to be very important for us on Sunday, because otherwise it will bite us in the backside and we'll suffer, which we don't want to. As you guys said, we're normally chasing tails. And if we're chasing tails, then I'm sorry, it's going to be like tug of war come Christmas time. And November already coming, December as well. I know the fixtures are being rearranged to fit around TV schedules, Most games have been rearranged, but sadly, some of the games, which I don't want it to be rearranged, but it's happened. Same in February, which I would love to met some of the people February time. Sadly, again, that's being rearranged. So I'm just saying right now, just need to do your thing. Just do your thing, play with the team you have, but please also, before I forget, Arteta needs to integrate young boys more. Just throw them out there. Just let them play their football. That's all he needs to do. And also surprise us as fans. Surprise the other team will, but surprise us as well.
Yeah, it's, as you said, we do need to stay firm Sunday. We do need to keep our concentration. We do need to keep our discipline. And I think if we get the defence right, and if we can get the defence right, I do agree with Charlie. And I think I was saying in the group the other day, I think the fullbacks are the biggest key factor here for Sunday. I actually think the fullbacks are the key thing here, because if you keep Salah quiet, and I don't know who you have on the other side, whether it's Diaz or whether it's someone else, do you know what I mean? If you get them two fullbacks and keep them quiet, that contains Liverpool, don't it? Like Nunes, then if Nunes starts up front, if Jota's not fit, he becomes a bit like unemployed as such, and he's not on the best of confidences. So I think Sunday's about getting the right fullbacks in. That's where we're going to shut them down, and I think potentially we might have to sacrifice Declan in midfield and put him centre back. And I'm all for it, because whoever does go centre back, whether it's Ben White, Timber, or Declan Rice, they're not naturally been playing centre back for over a year or two. Do you know what I mean? Like Ben White hasn't played there for a few seasons, so whoever goes back there is doing it for the team on Sunday. So I think the important thing Sunday is get that defence right. You get the defence right, we've got everything else. And if we get Saka and Martinelli in that team, I think we're good to go Sunday. But I'm going to go to you, Charlie, last but not least, because I've got 13% left on my battery. I've got 18 minutes, it says, but I reckon that's more like 8 minutes.
Power saving. Sorry, put power saving.
Give me. Yeah, it's on power saving. I've done that already.
Okay.
Give me 11 Sunday, Charlie.
My 11. Well, if Timber and Saka are fit, I would go Raya, White at right back, and then I would go Declan Rice at right centre back, Gabriel, and then Timber at left back. And then I personally would go Jorginho and Partey with Trossard in front, and then I would go Saka, Havertz, Martinelli.
And that team can easily go out there, can't it, and get 3 points against Liverpool if you put it like that. That is a good enough team to go out there and do the job.
Yeah, I think if we've got Saka and Timber playing, then I think we're getting 3 points.
And just for you, G, would you be happy with that lineup?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Charlie makes a good point with Jorginho, because he did have a cracking game, probably the best game he's ever had for us in that last year. So yeah, it's a bit maybe level-headed, isn't it? Rather than chucking in Moreno, who hasn't really sort of slotted into life with us yet. And yeah, obviously Declan would give everything. And I do not want to see Zinchenko, so I'm all for it.
I've got to be honest, when I was talking about it, I was thinking, I'm not even believing it myself, really, but hey ho. Timber does need to go left back. Only him or Calavori could play that role Sunday. And Calavori don't know if he's going to be fit anyway. So, yeah, for me, it has to be one of them two. Right, quick score predictions for Sunday. G, are you going to give us an optimistic outcome?
2-1. Because I think they are scoring, aren't they?
2-1. Any goal scorers?
Oh, God, because I'm crap at that.
Sorry?
I would say we'll go for Havertz.
Go Saka, Havertz. Easy too, that is. Over to you, Bess.
Same as G. Martinelli has to score because he's known to play well against them. If Saka plays, maybe Havertz scores it. No, I'll say Partey might have a cracking goal to boot for a change. He deserves it. So 2-1.
Good stuff. And Charlie?
Yeah, I think 2-1 as well. Why is everyone nicked my scoreline, bro?
Sorry, mate.
I think Martinelli's going to score. Yeah, I think Martinelli's going to score. And then I'm going to go Martinelli and Havertz.
Ooh. I'm sure Russ Morgan has that as a copy and paste. Good. Yeah. I'm going to go 2-1 as well. That's a full house.
Oh, that's a lot.
I don't see anything but I'm going to go for a 2-1. If Saka's fit, I'm going to go Havertz and Saka. But yeah, it's going to be a good game, I think, on Sunday. Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good game Sunday, and I think we just got to go from the off. Like, we were superb. Just to go quickly before we end the show, we were superb against them in the first half last season, back in February, and we conceded the most shoddiest of goals just for half time. If we can play like that again, I'll be very happy. So, Yep, going to go for a 2-1. That's a full house. The battery is going, guys. So just want to obviously thank you all for obviously coming on tonight. It's been good to be back. It's going to be good to see some faces on here again. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. I will go around the houses, but I do need to clear off.
No worries.
But to everyone else, obviously, thank you for obviously all your comments, all your likes. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel.
Now you're mute now. You're mute. We can't hear you.
Are you there?
Oh
He-
no.
Muted himself.
And froze
think-
himself.
Hey, it's not a show without technical
What's happening?
difficulties. Come on. We started it and we end it with technical difficulties. Are you there yet? No?
He just
No,
spoke there.
okay.
He just spoke there for a minute.
Yeah, but anyway,
What?
I'll end it.
Mate,
you
I
are
don't even
here.
know what's happened tonight, mate.
Fuck's sake. We're back.
I don't even know what's happened tonight. I don't even know what's happened there. Are we live? Are we not live? I'm not sure anymore.
Oh god.
Right, see you later. Cut us off, Ryan. Cut us off.
End
See you
the
later.
call.